What's going on, guys? So today would be my Tuesday, which is I usually typically do an ab workout. I'm gonna bypass that today. I'm actually gonna take the day off, relax a little bit. I'm actually really sore from yesterday's workout, and the reason I'm doing this is not because I'm skipping the workout. More so, I've noticed that this round I've actually taken the ab workouts separately from the traditional workouts, and so I want to do a day or two of doing the ab ripper right after the workout, so I can give you guys some of my thoughts on that and how I feel about that and things like that. It's been quite a while since I've done it, so I'm kind of I want to give you my thoughts on it after doing it. It'll be best that way, so I'm able to give you guys my I can give you based on what I just did versus looking back or thinking back a year ago, not a year ago, like 6 months ago, because I think I did a somewhat modified version of this for my round 4. But, so I thought I'd spend today just kind of give you guys some real talk moments. I do these occasionally, just kind of telling you guys what's on my mind, or giving you guys tips on the workouts or any of that good stuff. I look like I have a massive head on this camera, which I do. So, one thing I was thinking about the other day, I mentioned something about the vest being, or reminding me of what it was first like to start the program and how that was. And I kind of just want to talk about that a little bit. I want to talk about my first experiences with this program and my first thoughts on the programs. And hopefully, this will help you guys with the program. Probably not so much now since you're hopefully doing this with me, so you're now at phase 3. You're almost towards the end, so this would have probably been helpful a while ago, but either way, whatever. My first thoughts on the program were, this is effing hot. This is effing hard. Let me rephrase that. This program's difficult. I went from going to the gym and lifting 3-4 times a week, maybe 5, really crappy diet, very little to no cardio, and if there was cardio in my plans, it was probably low impact, maybe a small jog, a maximum of like a half a mile jog, and that was rare. That was very rare. And so let's just say I wasn't in the greatest shape, not by a long shot. I know that when I first did plyo, that was a huge reality check that I was completely and utterly out of shape. I took many breaks. I was lightheaded. I was dizzy. I didn't throw up, but I was probably pretty close to it. Plyo was hard, and not having done cardio, and probably serious cardio, I'm talking about serious cardio, like plyo, in probably over a year. That was a reality check. It was definitely a reality check. It made me realize that I needed to kind of push myself more. Another point is that the workouts at P90X are very high tempo. You're literally going, usually, depending on the workout, you're going about 3 sets, then you take about a 30-second rest, and then you do another 3 sets, give or take 3 or 4 sets, depending on the workout. Sometimes you get even, your breaks are far and few between, and so, or at least it seems that way. So, in the beginning, this will definitely be some of the hardest stuff you're doing. The tempo is very quick. It forces you to burn tons of calories because you are moving so quickly through these movements. You're going, and you're hitting so many muscle groups at the same time that your body is forced to just work its butt off. You're hitting, you're doing pull-ups, you got some bicep action there, you got some back action, you got some rear shoulder work, depending on how you're doing them, probably some front shoulder work. Plus, then you're moving from a pull-up to a push-up, and then you got a whole bunch of like stabilization muscles where you have to try to stabilize yourself in the push-up position, get your triceps, you've got your chest, your front delts, your rear delts, whatever. I mean, you're using a lot of muscle groups for a long period of time at a high tempo, and you're moving rather quickly to these workouts. You got to remember that in this workout, and those of you that are doing this with me know this by now. You're doing easily 2 sets of 24 because you're doing them twice. So it's a good 48 sets, give or take. On the resistance days, the cardio days, it's you're doing 30-second plyometric training, 30-second intervals of plyometric training. It's a lot of work. It's definitely intense. You're going to be having to push yourself really hard in the beginning if you're not used to working out. But I promise you, if you have the right mindset and you have the right goals in mind and they're not out of this world, and you have the right mindset going into this, you will see results, and those results were going to push you to go further in this program. You know, some of the guys I coach are like, oh man, this is really hard, this is really hard, and it is. It is a very difficult program. This is P90X. This is the extreme version of Power 90. Power 90 is the mild version that was originally created. Then P90X was created. It's an extreme version of it. It's very high tempo, very intense workouts, especially if you're not used to doing pull-ups. Pull-ups will kill somebody. Not literally, figuratively though, but people hate pull-ups. I'm more of a pull-up person. Omar hates pull-ups. I think Omar would rather do push-ups all day, from what I've seen, than do pull-ups. It's a necessary evil. You know, you need to work at those things to get better, and that's just the mindset you have to have in it. It's a difficult workout. The workouts are intense. The workouts are hard, and you have to force yourself to push yourself. You know, I've gone through this stage now where I'm doing more of a bodybuilding style workout routine where I've cut back on the cardio nearly altogether, at least high intensity cardio for sure altogether. And I'm a little worried at this point going into P90X2 coming in, which on a total side note, I'm disappointed about because I should have had it by now, and I'm being told there's shipping issues. And so it's questionable now whether I'll have it before the holidays, but total separate issue. You know, I'm a little concerned going to P90X2. I'm hearing that Plyo which is, I think that's how it's pronounced, is the next version of Plyometrics and P90X, and I hear it's definitely very intense. So not doing cardio now for you know, these last 3 months, almost 3 months now, I'm getting a little worried because I don't tend to be the type of person who can go off of cardio altogether and maintain that cardiovascular endurance that I used to have with P90X. So I'm definitely a little bit worried about that. But you know, we'll deal with that as it comes. Just kind of thinking about that. But you know, besides the fact that the workouts are hard, you know, you're dealing with a lot of things that you're not used to. You're dealing with yoga, which a lot of people haven't done. You're gonna find yourself being very, very, very tight if you skip yoga. Do not skip yoga. It helps you get your flexibility back. With developing can't even talk today. With developing muscle, you're gonna become tighter. You'll probably might even get some knots in your body if you're not either doing the technique correctly, or you're doing too much weight, or you're hurting yourself in the process. You need to get to that point where you do yoga. I understand it's a lengthy workout, it is. But you need to do it to become more limber, to stretch out, to get your body relaxed again, because your body's going to develop, and it's going to develop kind of tighter. You need to regain that flexibility. You know, they say that when you're born, you're as flexible as you're going to be, and as over the years, you get tighter and tighter and tighter. And it's true. You need to regain that flexibility so you could also avoid injury. That's also a huge plus of the huge positive in the yoga workouts. You know, you got the yoga, which is a good stretching, good meditative style workout. You still burn crazy calories because you're still sweating like crazy. So that's great workout. You got your rehabilitation, I like to think of it. You have your resistance days 3 days a week. Mine it would be my Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Your Tuesday is your plyometrics. Thursday is your yoga. Saturday is Kempo, which is a cardiovascular karate style workout. That won't get you burning tons of calories and sweating like crazy, especially if you're being intense with it. If you're gonna, don't half-ass Kempo, because you'll notice that if you half-ass it, you're not gonna get the best workout. If you get in there and you twist and you move and you're moving around doing all that good stuff, you're gonna notice that you're gonna get a lot more of a sweat going. If you breathe right, you're gonna get more of a cardio or not cardio, more of a core workout during it. And you should be, because of all the twisting motion in the Kempo. Sundays, it can be your off day, or if you're really hardcore with it, you can do your X stretch, which involves a little bit of cardio, a little bit of stretching. So That's also good if you're feeling really, really, really tight. Um, but the workouts are hard. But I will say this: the workouts are nothing compared to the diet, and that's hard to say because I just described to you how hard the workouts are. And it's not that the diet is hard particularly. It's the fact that you're probably the type of person like I was, where I wasn't used to metering my food. I wasn't used to looking at what I was eating, knowing what I was eating, and knowing how that thing that you were eating is affecting your body. And so it forces you a little bit to take control of your own diet, and it forces you to know what you're putting into your body and know how that's going to affect the results that you're looking to get. The P90X nutrition guide does a great job of explaining things to you, and explaining to you why you do the things you do, and it does a great job of telling you when to eat, how often to eat, how many servings of things, or if you're just the kind of person that would rather just do a list, they can literally tell you what to eat, when to eat, how often to eat it. That's something to think about, and that's why I feel like this program is so well-rounded, because it has all the things I just described. It's a great nutrition guide, especially for people that don't know what a carb does in your body, or how a protein reacts in your body, or why you need fats in your body. All those things, people that don't understand the difference between a calorie surplus and a calorie deficit and why you need to do those things. It does a great job of explaining all those things. It does a great job of introducing those things into your life, and giving you a base at which to start off from, and knowing how your body will react based on the directions of the nutrition guide. So back to referencing, it has a great nutrition guide. It teaches you about the nutrition. It has a mix of resistance workouts with cardiovascular training with stretching. That's why I feel like this is a full package, because it has a combination of all of those things. And all of those things are not just going to get you to be a stronger person, not just to get you more flexible, not just to get you faster or able to have better endurance. It's going to give you all of those in one package, as long as you're doing them all. That's why I feel it's a complete package. It's not just I'm going to go lift weights and have shitty flexibility and not be able to hold a pace with somebody's jogging. It's not just a person who's going to go run marathons but can't do a pull-up. Or not the kind of person who does yoga but maybe has a hard time lifting a 2-gallon bottle of milk. It's a mixture of all of them, and it's going to get you to have a more well-rounded physique instead of just going to the gym but yet not being able to touch your toes because you're just that big. You know what I mean? I don't feel like that's just a well-roundedness, and that's just, to be honest with you, not my intent for working out. I like the idea of the well-roundedness, to be able to do whatever you need to do in your day activities and not be exhausted, not be tired, except for the fact that there's stressors in my life, or there's a little bit less sleep than I should be getting sometimes. For the most part, I have more energy than most people that I know. I can have the energy to do whatever it is I need. I'll go to work, I'll come by, I'll work out, I'll do these videos, I'll help out people when I'm coaching them, I'll answer questions day in and day out. At the end of the day, I still have energy to do all of that without having to take a nap during the day, without having to resort to taking sodas and having coffee every 5 minutes. I feel like this is just a really well-rounded program. This is why I can't speak highly enough of it. The sheer benefits from going from a sedentary lifestyle to a person who is actually working out, that in itself is amazing. It really is, and you won't notice those benefits until you do that. Then you have the next step where it's like cleaning, eating healthy, and then you got the P90X, which is above it all, where you are really a well-rounded individual. You really are. But anyways, I probably went off topic a little bit. But long story short, at the end of the day, you have to realize what your why is. Before you start this program, realize why you are starting this program and figure out why you're deciding to go with the P90X. There is other options, and I can probably help you guys with that if you need that. But there are other options. Yeah, I mentioned Power 90, which is the more mild version of this. There's a 10-minute trainer if you guys, it's something where you don't have as much time. There's different options. Just keep in mind that P90X is a hard freaking program. It is. It really is. One of these days I gotta sit down and just give Omar the camera so he can talk, because I'll beat up on Omar on here. Anybody comes over here and works out, I beat up on them, and not to the level where I'm killing them, literally, more to the point where I'm pushing them hard. And I have a record, I think, of every single person that comes in here, I get them to break at some point, and I'll probably make them throw up. And I'm not gonna say Omar did or didn't. But at the end of the day, even if I'm sure every single one of them is thankful that I pushed them. And it's about pushing yourself and finding that breaking point, getting to it, maybe even touching it, maybe even pushing yourself past that breaking point and seeing what you're made of. And at the end of the day, if you're that kind of person that enjoys that and finding new things about yourself, this program's great. It really is, and I can't speak highly enough about it. But, to put it simply, at the end of the day, I feel like this is the best well-rounded program with everything incorporated that someone should want. Not just going out and lifting weights and hurting yourself or being so tight that you can't even lift your arms. Look at bodybuilders. They have to go to massage therapists and all these people who PM&R docs are actually getting them more limber because they can't lift their arms past their head. It's insane. But anyways, so back to the original topic. My first couple days of P90 were intense. The first 2 weeks I feel are always the hardest if you're not used to working out in this type of having these type of workouts are very somewhat extreme. The first 2 weeks is what I call Hell Week. I will always probably call it that only because of my experience. My first 2 weeks I felt like I got hit by a bus. After the first 2 weeks, your body kind of recovers a little bit. It does kind of feel like you have more of a grip on it, and then all of a sudden you have phase 2, and it's like a slap in the face. Sit back down, kid. That's what it comes down to. So you get phase 2, the muscle confusion kicks in, and once you thought you had something and you didn't, you don't. And you push yourself again, and then you get to the point where you're getting back on your knees, and you get back on your feet, and then you go to the next one, and then by phase 3, I feel like you have a good grip on the workouts, and although they're still tough, you should be able to handle them, handle yourself in the workouts. You're no longer getting slapped back to the floor. You're just kind of, you're having a small walk towards the finish line. But it's definitely an extreme workout. The tempo is hard, even to this day, to keep up with the tempo. For me, the most difficult has always been legs and back. That's a very hard tempo to keep. A little bit has to do with the fact that I have to keep putting on and taking off a vest so often between them. And Tony moves rather quickly through a pull-up, then you do legs, a pull-up, then you do legs, then you do probably another legs, and then more pull-ups. So it does get a little difficult sometimes to keep up that tempo. But either way, guys, I mean, it's difficult. Those are my first couple days. I will say that in the beginning, I didn't have the results and recovery formula, and from the moment that I've started using it, I don't go off of it. It does help you tremendously with the recovery. If you don't believe me, ask Omar. It's absolutely true. He's got a Twitter. I should link his Twitter somewhere on here so he can give you unbiased opinions. But results recovery formula does amazingly well. I'll probably maybe do a little real talk moment about supplements a little bit more because I've been meaning to do that. But yeah, speaking of supplements, I'm off of creatine. A little teardrop there. But yeah, guys, that's my thoughts on P90X. Those are my first couple days. My first couple days were hard. Going from no cardio and very slow, very, very slow tempo gym workouts to very fast-paced pull-up, push-up heavy workouts was intense and difficult. I mean, this is why I call it Hell Week. But it does get better. And if you're following this with me, you'll know that it gets better. And hopefully by now, you'll realize you've compared a photo or two from the time that you've started, and you realize that the changes are there, and that in itself drives people to go further and harder every single time. Make sure you're taking those photos. But that's it for the day, guys. I don't want to make this a 30-minute video. I've been known to do that a little too much. So I will finish this off for today. Just go relax a little bit. Very tight and sore a little bit. So the vest is awesome. Yeah, I'll try that again. But besides that, guys, we'll see you guys tomorrow. We've got what do we got? Shoulders and arms, right? Shoulders and arms. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night, guys.